everyone. This is Michelle Biggs, CEO of My Best Everyday Coaching and Consulting, and the host of Real Conversations with Michelle, coming to you with this very special episode of Real Conversations titled Veterans Benefits and Rights. For those of you who are new to my platform, I am a master certified life coach and a strategic HR partner by day. I leverage this platform to talk about a variety of life topics with the hope that something that is shared you'll be able to apply in a positive way. And the topics that I cover, like I said, a variety of different life topics. This one was actually brought to me by my guest a couple of months ago, and for me, it really has to be timing in terms of when I do it. And this was just a good month. Actually, we were trying to do it last month and had conflicts. But I trust this person with my life. His name is Johnnie J. I call him Johnnie J. But Mr. Johnnie J. Richardson, I will let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit more about himself in just a few minutes. So, that being said, know that this information is for informational purposes, and like anything else, do your own research just to make sure that if there's something that you do want to apply to your situation, that it really does meet your needs and is best for you. So that said, let me bring on Mr. Johnnie J. Johnnie Richardson Jr. Hello, Johnny.
Hello, how you doing, Michelle?
I am doing great. My friend of I look back at it. We've been friends for almost 39 years. That's a long time, bruh.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Very
it
long
has.
time. Yeah. So tell people about yourself and why this topic is so special to you.
Well, my name is Johnnie Richardson Jr. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. I was discharged back in 1989 with 10% service-connected disability injury. Currently, I'm a 100% service-connected disability veteran. I'm currently also the 6th District, which consists of North Carolina and South Carolina Military Affairs Chairman for Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. So currently, right now, is that how this actually is three reasons that this is very important to me. The first reason, veterans and their families should be aware of the VA benefits and the rights that are entitled to them. The second thing is sharing veterans benefits and the rights information to family members is very important. And the biggest benefit of helping vets is a better understanding of what veteran is going through, whether it's PTSD, financial due to service-related injuries, or problems obtaining benefits. So this is the conversation that we're going to have tonight.
Yeah. And Johnny, talk about your other credentials. I think you just touched upon one because you are an education advocate around this topic. So talk about
Well,
your chairman, your assistant chairman role.
well, currently, like I said, I'm a big advocate for veterans' rights, and that's for all veterans. I currently serve, like I said, for the 6th District Military Affairs Chairman. I'm also on the executive board for the Moffett Point Marine Association here in Charlotte, Chapter 40. I'm also work with the DAV. I'm a life member with the DAV, Disabled American Veterans. I also work with Veterans Homeless, currently right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I also work with veterans. Any veterans I meet or they walk up on me, I give them a card. I tell them to call me. I'm a
Yeah.
big advocate to help any veterans to receive their rights.
Yeah. And you have just a story you were telling me the other day in terms of someone who you helped just save time just because of the information that you do have. So that's the goal of tonight is really to talk about some foundational things, but really, things that could help people hopefully get a better jump start on some information that they have been trying to research. And hopefully we can make people's lives a little easier in doing that. So Johnny, talk about what are some of the common veterans benefits that are out there, and just talk a little bit about each of those.
Well, you have basically common benefits is the VA home loans, employment, veterans employment, and education benefits. Now, the VA home loans, which is a certificate of eligibility for VA direct or VA back end home loans. and they are called COE, which is a certificate of eligibility. And if you didn't receive a dishonorable discharge, you meet the criteria for using that to obtain a home loan. And for employment, I would suggest that you go directly straight to the official website. But most Veterans Employment Services, which is veterans government designed to be a virtual first stop in the employment search process. And this is basically a transitioning from service members and their spouses. For any veteran who is hired, the employee will look at them first
Yeah.
because of their leadership skills or what they are bringing to the table. They will look at a veteran's first. But as far as a veteran also obtain points for any civil service jobs. If they take a test, they already got 10 to 30 points already on the test prior to them taking that test.
Okay. So they
And
go in.
education benefits, right?
Yep.
And
Go ahead.
education benefits as well, which is a big thing right now because you can apply for help to pay for college, any training programs, certification programs, learn how the GI Bill works, and explore your options to pay for school and training. And that's also another website that we're going to be showing near the end of the conversation.
Yeah. And I know a lot of companies, because my companies, we're very big on tracking who our veterans are. So there are employers out there who are seeking to hire veterans. So as you said, just going ahead and apply, and sharing that you are a veteran is actually a positive, right? Because as you said, it could get someone escalated in a process because they do have that status.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Talk also about, and I don't think you mentioned this, life insurance, burial services, war benefits.
Well,
Talk a little bit about
life
those.
insurance basically is Veterans Group Life Insurance. It's called VGLI.
Okay.
Okay, it provides it's a conversion of Servicemen Group Life Insurance to SGLI, which
Okay.
is a coverage to renewable terms of policy that you had while you was in service. Now you're out of the service or separation from service. You may be eligible for VGLI if you had SGLI while you was in the military. Service connected disability, or within 1 year after 120 days after you leave the service, you are entitled to that.
Okay.
Service disabled veterans. Now, this is totally different. Service disabled veterans insurance. It's called SDVI. And that's life insurance that any veteran who has service connected disability can get up to $10,000 life insurance coverage right off the bat if they're totally disabled or have any basic SDVI coverage that you may be eligible for.
Okay. Now you're talking about SDVI because you're talking to someone who doesn't know.
Right.
I'm sure
And that's
veterans will understand some of this
Right, and that's
terminology, but
service. Right, and that's service
okay.
connected disability veteran insurance.
Okay.
Service disability veterans insurance (SDVI),
Got it.
and basically that's for service disabled veterans.
Okay. Now you also, when you and I were talking earlier, you were talking about war benefits as well. So difference between benefits and versus someone who's not been in a war. What's the difference
Well,
there?
war benefits and it deals with during the time of war.
Okay.
Okay, and if you serve, like currently, just what happened about a week ago on the Gulf War, the Gulf War. If you served in the Gulf War, that has been changed. They was going to change and end the entitlement of disability December 31st of this year. The president has moved that to another 4 years to 2026. They will change it to 2026 to extend disability for if you was in the Gulf War. But if you was in any type of war, and it's really entitlement, basically, if you was in war, just say World War II. We still have World War II veterans still living.
Okay.
And we still have Vietnam veterans, Korean War veterans, Vietnam veterans. And then you go into the Gulf War. Then you go into Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan.
Okay.
And that's when the country declare war. And that's when basically servicemen are entitled to, if they are hurt or if they receive any types of injury while they're in, or if they get have any aggravated effect after they leave the service, they are entitled to what you call wartime veterans.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and
Cool.
burial service. Did I touch on that?
No,
Bur-
talk a little bit about
Yeah,
that.
burial service. That's reimbursement that any burial service may be paid to help them offset the expenses of their veterans' funeral services, and the allowance is payable for the veterans who died of service-connected disability or were in receipt of compensation or pension or retired pay in lieu thereof and died in a VA facility. Now
Okay.
that's very important because I dealt with that personally. My brother, who served 22 years in the Marine Corps,
Okay.
he was living in the Philippines, and he lived in Angel City. If anybody know about the Philippines, and he died in a civilian hospital. Now
Mm.
Manila is where the VA hospital is at, which is about 3 hours away. He did not die in the VA hospital. Now he was 100% service connected disability. But being my brother, I knew exactly what needed to be done for him to receive all his benefits. And the key is that his death certificate had to have something on his death certificate that was related to his service connected disability.
Okay.
And that entitled him to receive all rights of his burial. He received a full honor burial ceremony. He received they did not pay for his shipping his body back to the states,
Okay.
and but if he died in the VA facility, they would have,
Okay.
and that's the
Got
difference.
okay. And
Uh,
Johnny, what can you do? Speaking of that, because you're talking about burial, so the family members are left to deal with that. So, what are some tips you would give family members, at least in terms of just making sure certain things are in place? You know, for someone who's a veteran, might be older. I mean, you can
right,
die at any age, but
that's
what's the
true.
best way to ensure that family members are prepared to get the full benefits of someone who is a veteran when it comes to
Well,
burial
I would
service, any
suggest
other?
that
Yeah.
family members should first of all sit down and talk to that veteran if you
Okay.
can,
Okay.
and obtain his DD 214, which is his discharge or which is his service discharge certificate, and it's
Okay.
called the DD 214. His medical records, his medical records.
Okay.
Okay, if you can, and also obtain all that, know where the location where all that information is prior to his death.
Okay.
It saves a lot of confusion after the person has passed on,
Mhm.
and trying to find out where is his paperwork, especially now, and especially these time of days, because after 2000, before 2010, it's still very hard to get a lot of paperwork on veterans.
Okay.
They have went digital after 2010, and a lot of stuff is online. That all the branches of the service records, military records, they can go online and get a lot of the information after 2010. Prior to that is very hard.
Mhm.
Now, during World War II and the Korean War, a lot of servicemen used their service serial number and not their social security number.
Mm.
And a lot of social security numbers are twisted around and they can't find you, or they have no record that you
Yeah.
was even in the service, even though you might have a picture with three or four in uniform in another foreign land country,
Mhm.
and they still won't approve you that I can bury you here in the memorial cemetery.
Right.
So it's a lot that you should obtain up front.
Yeah.
If you can get that information, sit down, and I advise you to sit down and talk to that veteran, your loved ones, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your uncles, your cousins, anybody that was a veteran. Make sure that the next of kin know where their paperwork is at.
Yeah, and that's important because I think a lot of times, even for non-veterans, we don't, as families, sit down and have that conversation. So what I'm hearing with you, especially for veterans, there are some benefits that veterans are a lot of benefits that veterans are eligible for. So making sure you have all of that in order, so you know where it is, and also and like you said, at the end we'll show some resources for people to take down, and I also will have it in on my web page. But just make sure you have the information about your vet. If you have a family member who is a vet, make sure you have all the information about their time in service and other things, discharge,
Right.
stuff like
Another
that.
important, I want
Go
to
ahead,
bring up
Johnny.
another important fact too. Most individuals that are veterans and most seniors now, they have caretakers
Yes.
at home, and caretakers are entitled to compensation.
Mm,
Okay, um, but the veteran has to be qualified and eligible, and have to get in the system, and that's very stressful for veterans to work through the system and identify themselves that, okay, I am a veteran.
okay.
Okay, to be a veteran, a service member must serve 180 days consecutive active duty service, not training, or 1 day in a combat zone. Serve on active duty during a period of war, what I mentioned earlier,
Okay.
or in a campaign, or in any campaign or expedition for which a campaign badge was authorized. That qualifies you as a veteran.
Okay.
And once you are qualified as a veteran, you are entitled, and I repeat, you are entitled to benefits and rights. And if you are injured, you are entitled to file a claim. Now, you don't have to be injured and you broke a thumbnail, or you twist your wrist or something like that. But the thing about it, a perfect example, Army Rangers, airborne Rangers, they jump out the planes 30, 40, 60 times during their career in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
No problem, get discharged. As they get older, their knees start to hurt, and they are entitled to file a claim.
Okay.
They are entitled to go back and file a claim because they can prove that they jumped out of planes.
Right.
And my knees, I'm 50 years old now, my knees are bad,
Right.
and I need help. I need compensation from it, and I need care.
Yeah. Okay.
And you are entitled to all that.
Yeah. So a lot of, I mean, again, the big point here is anyone who has served is entitled to a lot of different benefits and rights, which extends beyond the time that they have served, right?
That's correct.
So it's important for them to do their homework. Johnny, what is the benefit that tends to cause the most confusion for veterans? Because what I know we talked about earlier this week was that the process for just finding this stuff out, like you said, you moved from a manual process to a digital process. And I know I've had friends who, parents are sick, they served in the war, stuff like just trying to figure out all this stuff can be very frustrating
Yes.
and time consuming. So what is the one benefit? If there's one that really tends to be
Filing a
utilized the
claim.
most, filing a claim. Okay.
Filing a claim
Hmm.
is one of the most confusing and most frustrating thing that a veteran can go through.
Okay.
First thing, you want your DD 214, that I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Okay. You want to submit that. You can submit that online. That's one thing that you can do. You can submit that online. Now, the decision, which is frustrating, it could take up to 131 days. And that was as of 2020. It
Wow.
could be
Why
longer.
why that why that long, Johnny?
Well, number of people working the claim, number of
Okay.
people filing claims, and then the medical decision that has to be conducted while the claim is in process. The
Okay.
claim is received, it has an initial review, the preparation notification is sent back to you, and then the claim is complete.
Okay.
It's like a four-step process, but that takes up to 131 days, and that was back in September of 2020.
Wow.
That status. You know,
Okay.
now veterans are entitled to, um, say you don't want to file a claim, but you want the health benefits on it. side of it. Okay, you go to a VA with your DD 214 again. You go up to the VA hospital and you go get your VA ID card, and you want to sign up for e-benefits online right then and there, so you can have it and you can sign into it when you go back home on your computer,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get assigned a primary care doctor. So,
Okay.
and you can track, just like most doctors' offices now. You can track it on your phone, on your computer, your medical history, right then and there. Now, the medical service, you have to be seen by a VA medical. You have access to bases all across the country, PX, commissary. Once again, you're eligible to purchase a home, employment, education benefits, life insurance, burial services. You have access to all of that. And you do not have to be 100% service connected disability to visit a PX and commissary now.
Okay. Say more about that. And I know you're talking to
And
lingo.
that is basically like going to the Sam's Club or Costco's
Okay.
discount place, which is on a military base, which is called the commissary or the PX.
Okay.
And it has discounts, tax. Some of it is lower than if you go to a regular Target or Walmart, go to your malls. It's less expensive.
Okay. Cool. 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 So we talked about so disability, you said just the one area which tends to cause most people confused, a lot of confusion around that. Anything else? Because you talked about the caretakers, and I'm not sure a lot of people realize that caretakers are eligible for veterans benefits as well. And is that and that's more than just a spouse, that's correct? When you say
Uh,
caretaker, is that just a spouse or
well, it could be anyone that's taking care of a veteran.
okay,
Okay, is entitled to that. Now, there is stipulations,
okay.
and that's why you have to go to the websites and follow the rules and guidelines how to submit your form. But you can. Most veterans are eligible for a caretaker if they are service connected disability.
Okay, so eligible meaning that VA would pay for that. Is that
Yes,
okay?
they will pay for it, and they also will pay the individual.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, good information.
So,
I don't know if I haven't seen any questions come in. If anyone's online and you have any questions, please post them. And well, I have Johnny here again, someone who has been intimately engaged in educating people around this process. And Johnny, I mean, just this week you were telling me about someone you helped recently. Talk a little bit about that.
well, at my job, I had an individual young lady. Um, it was around Veterans Day, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and she found out that I was a veteran, and she came up to me and asked me some questions um, in reference to her grandfather, who has passed and who was a veteran, but she lives and take care of her grandmother. And I said, well, do you know you are entitled to your grandmother? First of all, what time period he was in? He was in during wartime. Okay, so that's one big key thing. Do you know where all his documents is? That was another key thing. Yes, they did.
Okay.
They did know where his documents is, his discharge certificate, and they knew all that. So basically, what I did, I sent her to the website and told her to fill out this form, and she filled the form out. And within 90 days, her grandmother started receiving a check for survival benefits, and she started receiving a check for being a caretaker for her grandmother.
So that extended beyond the grandfather because she
Right,
was taking
because
care of the grandmother. Okay.
right,
Okay.
exactly. But they never knew that they was entitled to that. Just a conversation having with
Hmm.
her, I helped her do that. Like I
Yeah.
said, if I reach one person, I'm successful,
Yeah.
and that's the key to what I enjoy doing. I
Hmm.
like to reach people to understand that you are entitled to every single benefit if you serve for this country.
Yeah. So talk about benefit. Serving definitely has its
Right.
benefits, and I'm
Right.
glad you brought this to my attention. Like I said, I love just love helping people and empowering people, and this topic definitely met the
Right.
my checklist of topics to talk
Right.
about, because it is about
Right.
enabling those who are veterans, one,
Right.
to take control over um all the things that they're entitled to, right? How do
Exactly.
you get in front of all of that?
Right.
And the thing that I learned from you, just talking to you, just the extension of a lot of these benefits to family members and caretakers. And I don't think a lot of people know that, right? So it's very important.
Right.
Again, reiterate,
Right.
you have a veteran in your life, make sure that you have all the information you need about, what they did, where they served, that they were injured, or the medical records, because you might be entitled to benefits that you just did not
Right.
recognize.
And
Right.
there's also one key thing. A lot of veterans get what I call discouraged because they did not relieve the service with an honorable discharge,
Okay.
and they might have left with administrative discharge or other than honorable discharge.
Okay.
Uh, you can go online and you can upgrade your discharge to an honorable discharge.
Okay.
And those are the resources that you're going to show at the end. Go to those websites and fill out those forms. And brothers, sisters, you have to do the work. No one else can do it for you. Now, if you have a veterans and you have their power of attorney or their health power of attorney, you can do the work for them. But the individual veteran has to do the work for themselves. We can walk you through it, but it's self-explanatory, but it does take time to do it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then, and as you see the resources right there, that e-benefits, that helps you with basically a lot of your medical care. And once you apply, go to the
Mhm.
VA, go get a primary care, get your medicine sent to your house free,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
or you can pick it up at the VA, one or the other. Or if you don't have a car, they'll come and pick you up and take you to the VA. There's a
Mm.
lot of resources that you can use being a veteran. We leave a lot of things on the table and we are no longer here and you can't pick it up. Once
Yeah.
it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do that because you are entitled. It's your right.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you to everyone who has served this country. Just know we appreciate you. Johnny, I do have a question that came up. Someone said, I'm currently receiving 10% disability. How do I go about getting additional percentage?
Uh, there's a lot of that's broad question, but like I said, I started out with 10%.
Okay.
And first of all, do you have a primary care doctor? Are you registered at the VA hospital?
Mm-hmm.
And if they are, that's great. And have they been going there consistently?
Okay.
Then, wherever they live at, what they need to do is find their veteran service officer in your county, wherever you're living at. Veteran service office is free. You can just go to the veteran service officer, and this is what I tell everybody: if you want to increase and you're serious about it, go to your veteran service officer and tell them that you want to do intent to file a claim. Now they will put that in for you. They're gonna say for what? They said, well, I want to intent to file. I don't know yet. I got to talk to my medical primary care doctor, so on and so forth. But I do have service connected disability. But I want to put intent to file. In the meantime, you go back to the VA and you start talking to your primary care doctor. You know, this hurts because there's things that you might have 10% disability. Say that you broke your leg while you was in, and you got a pin in it, and you walk with a limp or something like that, and they gave you 10%. Okay, 10 years later, 15 years later, uh, I got headaches because I had taken medicine because of that pin. I get headaches, I get migraines. You can put in a secondary claim based on that first claim.
Mm,
And that's how you can increase your rating in your for your disability. Secondary claims is the best way to go about doing it. If you got sleep apnea, migraines, depression, anything from your first injury could be used as a secondary injury for your claim.
right. So it's really going to your primary care doctor,
Right. And
ensuring
and
they
they will
understand.
outsource right, and they will outsource you to a specialty, just like a regular doctor.
Yeah.
Send you to a neurologist, send you to a psychiatrist. They and these are specialty doctors. And once you start getting all that documented in your medical records, then you go back to the VSO office, say 8 months later, and now I want to file a claim secondary for migraines, for depression, and for sleep apnea, because now you got all three of those in your medical records now. Now you
Yeah.
can file a claim. Out of those three, I guarantee you, you're going to get two of them, maybe all three approved,
Yeah.
because
Because
it's
it's
a
connected to the,
secondary.
yeah, it's connected to your first, well, potentially,
Right,
right. They can say it was connected to the first as long as
right,
it's, yeah, you got a
right.
medical
Once
doctor
you
who
have an
can
injury,
substantiate
there's
that.
other things, and as you get older, there's other
Yeah.
things that can, what they call aggravated,
Got it.
right? And aggravated as you grow and as you get older, things change in your body, and things doesn't work like they used to when you was 20, you know, and but you had that injury when you was 20,
Right.
but it's affecting you now, and you're 50 and 60 years old,
Yeah.
so you do have that right to file that claim,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't understand they do have that right to do that.
Thank you, Anthony. I hope hopefully that answered your question. Otherwise, Johnny J, he is connected to me on my page, and you'll see his information. So you can reach out to him. Anything else you want to share that we did not cover, Johnny?
um Basically, use those resources, individuals. Go to those resources, use those resources, go to the website. The government is giving out a lot of money for veterans in the last 3 to 4 years. And especially now, we just got the highest raise coming in January, well, December 1st. And ever, for disability veterans. And there's a lot of benefits out there that you will be tremendously surprised that you are entitled to. A lot of people sit on it, get frustrated, and stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't stop. Now, I can understand because I got out 89, 10%. I didn't stop, but I wasn't allowing them to use me as a guinea pig neither.
Okay.
you know, there's certain things you have to also watch with the VA.
Mm-hmm.
They will pile you up with medicine. They will give you things over and over and over again. And by the time you know it, you're hooked. And you don't want that. They might say, well, let's do this. And the next thing you know, they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You
So
know, so
do your
do
homework.
your homework and understand your body.
Yeah. And that's like
Understand your body. Yeah.
anything medical for sure. You want to make
Right.
sure you're going into a physician, sometimes getting second opinions, third
Right.
opinions,
Exactly.
right? Just
Exactly.
like anything else. Well, Johnny, I want to thank you for
You're more than welcome.
this topic. Like I said, you came to me a couple months ago, as you always do with ideas, and I'm like, All right, bro. Let me figure out how I can fit this in. But like I said, I've seen friends and family maneuver through the system, so I know it can be very frustrating. So I think you gave a um, some good feedback. What I heard was, well, why don't you recap most important things coming out of this conversation today?
Um, Find all the documents of your veterans in your family.
Yes,
Make sure you know where they're at. Don't wait until they're gone. Find it now. That's number
yeah,
one. Know where your VA hospital is at, wherever you live at. If you're a veteran, know where your VA hospital is at. You know, and go there, register. And the second thing, share the information you experience after you go through it with others.
okay, all right.
I'll leave you with that.
On that note, Johnny J, thank you so much. I'm going to put you in the green room real quick. You all, again, very special episode. I wanted to do it the week of Veterans Day. Like I said, we had some conflicts, but glad Johnny was able to join. Just to tell you a little bit about some other things I have coming up to round out the year. I do have a workshop, fulfilling your dream, a dream fulfilled, transforming your vision into action. That is for those who are ready to get a jump start in their planning for 2022. There's information on my website about that, on my Facebook page. And also, I have the last real conversations with Michelle for this month is actually going to be happening on December 16th. The title is Entrepreneurship Turning Your Craft into a Business. So thank you all for tuning in. I know you could be doing other things. I'm going to post a link to this because I do recognize everybody is not on Facebook. So for those of you who have veterans in your life and you want to share it, I will post a link to both my business page, which is facebook.com/ my best every day. Feel free to take that link and share it with others. If they have a computer, they'll be able to see this video directly from my StreamYard platform. Um, and yeah, have a great rest of your week. And hopefully I'll see some of you in a couple of weeks for the entrepreneurship episode. And on that note, I'm going to log out. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.